People, we talked about a little bit with voting, and I don't know where I sit with that either, but some people, I can't form a harsh opinion because I think I really do think down the middle, and I love playing devil's advocate, and so I can always find arguments in myself.
Yeah.
We were just talking out there. We'll see what Jim thinks about this. I read less than 50% of folks have a voice or internal dialogue going on. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that?
There is a thing about that. I don't remember what the percentage is.
That's what I heard.
But certain people don't actually have an interior voice.
I don't think it's that large.
I don't think it's that high
I don't
either.
think it's 50%.
Can we Google?
Yeah, we need to Google that because I don't think it's.
And then what are you doing your whole day? Is that the kind of people?
It's literally just information. You know, when you hear someone talk, you just process it like that of just like, okay, this person's saying that. And then
Are those the people though? So me and Kelly are kind of mean. We think those are dumb people, but maybe those are like extrovert people that can't be alone.
Well, I don't want to say dumb. Okay, that's harsh.
Absolutely stupid.
No, it's like those people actually do very well in like academic settings and stuff like that. It's like the really smart like type A people because you can just give them information. They don't overthink it and they can regurgitate it.
That makes sense in academia because my brain is fighting what I'm reading.
Exactly, because you overthink.
That's why I can't read. That's
a lot of very smart people will say that they don't have the internal dialogue.
So I'm the stupid one.
Apparently, because you're gonna be bowled over by this. It's 4 in 10.
Do or don't
report having some kind of internal speech. Up to 75% have none at all.
It's less than 50.
Okay.
It's 40%, 60%.
Maybe I had it switched. Yeah, more people.
But then what are you doing in your day? Like, what are you doing when you're driving a car? You're just processing the road?
I don't get it. I don't know.
Because I assumed you have an insane internal dialogue. Yeah.
Fuck, yes.
Yeah, me too.
That's like painful.
Yeah, mine too.
Well,
I can't shut that bitch up.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, when I wrote my master's project, I had terrible writer's block. And the only way that I could get rid of it that I could think of at the time was to listen to audiobooks while I was writing. So it took that part of my brain that was being overly critical of everything I wrote and pushed it off over to listening to a story and trying to keep up with the story so that I could keep writing. And I wrote just a ton faster, and I wasn't hitting the backspace key all the time and changing a word and whatever. You can go back and edit it later.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like write drunk, edit sober, except without the alcohol.
I wonder if where that plays in with like ADHD and stuff, because I'm the exact opposite. If I have to write or like even I'm the guy, what's the meme? Like dad had to lower the music to read the street sign.
Yeah.
I'm that guy to the max because my brain's so loud. I can't write. I literally can't do anything. I can't even listen to music. I can't instrumental.
Nothing. Doing what? When doing it?
Doing anything productive.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like even if it's not like pure creative. Like if I'm designing clothes or like looking through stuff like that, inspo boards, stuff like that, I could do music.
I don't think I would be interested to see like the correlation, like IQ correlation with like with the dialogues, because I don't know if I would say, I don't know.
It makes sense that they might be able to read better.
Because it's not like you're smarter or dumber. It's just like your brain works differently.
I think IQ in general is outdated. I've only taken a couple tests, but because there is so many different levels and styles of intelligence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's social intelligence. There's
And same with the PhD thing. And I know it's easy to say because I'm uneducated, but like a lot of people, and maybe not PhD is a little different, but to get through college, a lot of it is just like getting through college.
Yeah.
And I did
regurgitating information.
Yeah. You read some shit, you test some shit. Yeah. And you've
undergrad.
Masters, PhDs, a little different.
Totally different experience. At least it was for me.
Yeah. But even that, probably depends on what you're studying. Yeah. And then does it truly test your creative or even problem solving abilities always? Maybe not.
No.
Yeah, not saying it's easy. Yeah. I never said it's easy.
It depends on the type of testing.
Right. Honestly. But I'm sure someone could go get their master's, even their MBA, but not apply it and start their own business. Right.
Well,
totally.
Like that. I've talked with friends that have like their doctorates and stuff, and they talk about the fact that they went to school with these people that are like very smart, but some of them are very stupid.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, the other issue is like you go to school, anesthesiology or like a specialist doctorate, PhD, and you're in school until you're 29, 30 years old. you don't know how to do taxes. You don't know how to do laundry. You don't know how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like normal life. That's
Change
what I'm
a
saying.
tire.
There's different type. Yeah, there's different types of intelligence.
Yeah,
Like
I got none
like
of
yeah.
there's a normal day, like things that you do every single day, and like normal life.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah,
And then which is better, which is worse? Who knows? Who cares?
it depends on your
I do wonder if the internal dialogue thing has to go with introvert extrovert type stuff too, or like, you know how some people are just bored, like they can't be on the couch alone.
Yeah.
My brain won't shut up. Like, of course I'm entertained, you know, like I'm watching The Hobbit and then I start thinking about this and then I start thinking about that, like, what's Frodo doing today?
That's
you know,
true.
my brain
and then
starts dancing.
You don't mind being alone because
Love
you
being
don't
alone.
feel
But if I didn't have that,
That's
you would
true.
probably want to be around friends
to
or
fill up the void.
really focus.
Yeah.
Just the emptiness, the sadness, or really read a book and really dive into that book. I do understand if you didn't have an internal dialogue, diving into a book sounds amazing. I cannot do that.
You don't like reading?
I can't read. I can read. I'm
You just
literate.
don't enjoy I was gonna say,
I
wait,
just
what?
can't.
You don't enjoy it.
My brain voice is so loud. That's why I like the podcast. This is the
okay.
one time my brain voice shuts up.
Because you're talking.
I'm listening to you two. Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
amazing.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's so loud.
Interesting.
Audiobooks, real fucking
I
hard.
mean, that's why people take like ADHD meds and stuff. Is just because it quiets that. Yeah.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
probably be on tons of meds. I'm on none.
I mean,
they tried.
You got one in your hand.
Yeah, this is like this is still low dose too. Low dose caffeine
isn't that is it cold brew?
Yeah.
Cold brew is not low dose.
Yeah.
compared to my old habits.
Oh my gosh.
Mike told me that he is off of energy drinks at the moment.
Kelly's part of the
Yeah.
reason she started
I
shit
tweeted,
talking energy
yeah.
drinks.
I didn't. It wasn't energy drinks. It was caffeine.
Well, I didn't quit that.
I said a lot. What was the tweet? It was like a lot of y'all's lives would be a lot better if you reduced your caffeine and consumption.
I can like
And people complain. This is the thing that I think you probably heard. People complain about anxiety and all these things, and like caffeine literally has been proven to exacerbate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many people are hyped up on caffeine. I'm like, and then they complain about anxiety. Like everyone is complaining about anxiety. I'm like,
because it's
drink some more water.
I get
reduce your
anxious
caffeine.
because I'm sleepy though.
can't
Really?
get functional.
I can't get anything done because I'm too tired.
Oh, because you're just
Some of that stuff's like chicken before the egg stuff. I was talking to our friend Leanna, who
Yeah.
like studied some of this psych stuff, and because caffeine doesn't cause anxiety,
No.
but raised heart rate and those
Right.
feelings
Right.
are a repercussion
Yeah,
of anxiety. So then when you get
Yeah.
the raised heart rate, you may also
So
feel
a friend of mine and I were talking about, he's like, well, you know, technically, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
technicalities,
No.
I understand that. But if people are not going to increase their water consumption, they don't want to take the time to do these things, increase their water consumption, focus on proper sleeping habits, then you consuming all that caffeine is exacerbating all those problems. Like you're going to sleep less because you're taking all this caffeine. You're probably not drinking enough water. You're taking in all this caffeine. You're not like counteracting it with enough water.
yeah.
So it's just making all these problems for you that you're not addressing.
Mine's always been a bonus though. Like I've always been on control. Like I don't drink caffeine because I don't sleep enough. I drink caffeine because I enjoy it
Right.
and because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
be productive. Like I always
Right.
cut it off at noon. I cut it for sure by 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I always sleep my
Make
8-9
sure
hours. Yeah, my
See,
water and stuff.
A responsible human. But the majority of people I think don't operate
Agreed.
that way.
Yeah. What's it's so bad. I need to grow up. I get a lot of my news from TikTok and Twitter now. But there's like a trend of people bashing dry scooping.
Me?
Oh.
Me? I did that.
So we got to get my buddy on here too. He blew up.
It's growing because people start sending me this stuff.
Yeah, everybody's talking shit on it. Like not only for like your teeth and your health, but like and like talk about addictive personality.
It was, I think Fox News, somebody sent me a link to it. Fox News posted something about it being bad for your heart.
Oh, I doubt it. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't look into the science behind
Yeah,
it.
I don't know either. Like that could just be clickbaity
Yeah,
stuff
I
because
was
they
gonna
think
say,
so much caffeine.
Some of the articles that I saw, like, they didn't have any scientific
Right.
data like backing them up. I'm like, I believe it because it makes logical sense
Sure.
to me. Like,
But
it's
they quote
literally
one doctor
right,
and call
or
it
they
a-
didn't even. The one article that I saw was like from GNC, I think.
Yeah.
They're talking about how it was like bad for your esophagus, like burns your, and there's literally no data. Like they haven't linked anything.
GNC is just covering their ass so they don't get
I
sued.
think, yeah, probably.
If you Google dry
it.
scooping.
Yeah.
You get Women's Health saying you shouldn't do it. You get The Hill saying you shouldn't do it.
Click on one, Jim. See if you get a reason
See if
why
there's-
they say.
Yeah, see if there's any like data
Because even I don't know.
research.
Even logically, again, I'm no fucking doctor, but like
There's a dangerous new trend sweeping TikTok.
Yeah.
it is.
It's called narcissism, and it's as old as time.
I do think like dry scooping's been a thing for such a long time.
Very long time.
But it is popular now. People are throwing on their Instagram.
Ryan
stories.
Spencer's the first person I ever saw do it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do a
It's
little
been
wash.
around for 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I've never
I
done-
was doing it.
I don't even take like powders. They just bug me. I do wonder the caffeine intake of like a coffee versus a caffeine pill versus a dry scoop. Because your body takes up time to absorb it.
It's literally created to be dissolved in water, though. Like
Yeah.
logically, when
True.
you think about it, it's like these ingredients, in order to react
Yeah.
appropriately, like they need to be mixed with a certain amount of water. That's why there's instructions on it.
You know what I learned last week from our good friend Dean Sidoris? Amazon like blocks stuff like that. Like they won't sell caffeine powders. And I was
What?
like, that's where
They sell
Amazon
caffeine-
dries their
Yeah.
Draws the line.
Draws the line.
because you can buy a caffeine pill.
Pill, yeah.
And
but
I think
just
you can
not
buy
powders.
pre-workout if it has
But
other
you can't do-
bullshit in it. But if it's caffeine, they won't do it.
I wonder why.
I don't know. That's where they draw the line in the sand that they don't want more
Did you
money.
look that up? Did you fact check that?
I fact checked it based on that he's gone through the process, the business process of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
trying to
because
get-
they sell just a straight caffeine. powder,
Yeah, but
caffeine
it has
powder.
like flavor,
flavored
yeah.
powder.
And
Got
so
it.
they were getting weird about it. He's like, no,
Oh,
like this
okay.
is the same as a pre-workout. Let me sell this.
Yeah, interesting.
So this article says that after dry scooping, a 21-year-old
Sure.
woman was rushed to the hospital for heart
I
attack
saw her.
symptoms.
Was that the Fox News one?
No,
Oh,
it's this is Women's Health.
Okay.
But that's like so. Like here in
That's
SAC,
one.
but
yeah.
so this is where maybe we do dig into our deeper conversation of the day. But like human responsibility, same thing here in Sacramento. There's a big story like 10, 12 years ago. Maybe I was in high school. They did like get Nelly concert tickets if you chug. Was it water or milk, Jimbo? I think it was water. You chug a gallon of water in an hour, and you'll get free Nelly tickets. And somebody died.
Yeah, it's
So are we going to outlaw H2O?
it's hyponatremia.
Right. No, yeah, and I get it
Yeah.
all, and that person should have as well. But are we just going to outlaw water then?
Well, no, but we should keep people from running stupid contests about water drinking.
So maybe
a
forcing
contest. Right.
or forcing people to drink water.
But
Like,
say-
so many fraternities nearly kill
What
people.
was that? Like the Chubby Bunny like contest and stuff. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, with the
okay,
marshmallow.
relax.
Yeah.
Jeez. Your face
I thought
lit
you were-
up.
I thought
Your
we were-
face lit up for
I
a
thought we were
second.
going to talk
there.
about the guys you were into, maybe Thickums.
Okay, relax.
Any Thickums listening out there?
So apparently,
But so yeah,
What
contest.
is dry scooping? Latest TikTok trend could be dangerous for your heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
She had a
Cardio could be bad for your heart. It raises your
Yeah,
blood
yeah.
pressure, and if you're fat, you're
I
going to
know.
have a
I'm
heart
like,
attack.
okay, some cardiologist found.
she had a non-ST segment elevation myocardial infarction, an NSTEMI.
So I agree we should maybe regulate the contest you type of run, but if it becomes a TikTok trend to chug, and I'm sure it has, or sure it will, chug milk or chug a gallon of water in an hour, you know what I mean? Stupid is as stupid does. We can't
Yeah.
stop them.
Well, and Amazon used to routinely have Nazi paraphernalia on the marketplace, but they're concerned about
Well, that comes-
powdered caffeine.
No, yeah.
Censorship.
They just
can talk
stopped
about
that too.
censorship?
We can dive in. Didn't they just stop selling Mein Kampf and stuff? I think it was this year they just
Pretty
stopped
recently,
selling
It's
it.
yeah.
literally regulating people's like. You can't regulate.
Yeah, I don't
smart,
know.
you know
They
what
can
I'm saying?
decide whether they sell it or
For
not.
sure. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
it
I don't know.
it doesn't affect whether or not people can sell it. It's just whether it's
Yeah.
on their
If the
platform.
certain company wants to.
And I think you
Right.
do have to protect your
For
platform.
sure. Oh,
But
for
the
sure.
issue there does become caffeine versus Mein Kampf,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
So that water thing actually happened here in Sacramento, by the way.
No, that's what I said. It was like
Yeah.
103.5.
They're chugging.
Yeah.
It was like I swear it was a Nelly concert or something. Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
trying
it
to
was
win some tickets.
2007.
Yeah, see, I was in high school. I was
Oh,
a
you were
senior.
gonna do it?
Nah.
Oh.
She
But I
died
do
of
remember
water
it.
intoxication,
SAC has some weird history
and it was
with stuff like
it was
that.
a Nintendo
Wait, so-
Wii.
Ah,
50% facts.
Almost
strike
got my
again.
Wii Sports.
Wii.
We have a lot of random shit like that, like all the sneaker documentaries and stuff where they talk about people killing people for Jordans. Happen
Yeah.
at Arden
Wait,
Fair Mall.
what?
Yeah.
You've seen some, or you've heard of that,
No.
like people getting in fights for Jordans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, someone got shot at Arden Fair Mall, and it's in a lot of those documentaries.
Yeah.
SAC's kind of weird like that.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot going on and not much going on.
All at the same time.
I feel like that's every city though. It depends
Maybe.
on where you're. Yeah,
Maybe. But like that's in a
some
documentary.
weird
This
stuff,
water thing made
yeah.
national news.
I didn't hear about it.
I think we had some lady from Rockland in the we'll get Kelly going here. We have some lady from Rockland in the White House bust down, and she stole a bunch of papers.
Wait,
Oh
what?
yeah.
When they broke into the White House.
Yeah.
There was a lady from a suburb here, and I think she stole a bunch of papers.
Yeah, the Capitol,
Nice.
no, not the White House.
Capitol.
Yeah, not the White House.
Same shit.
It's really not. Different building. 50%
Next door.
Down the street.
Yeah, next door. Next door neighbors. People say they're in the Bay Area when they live in Sacramento, Same shit.
I'm okay with that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm okay with that
It's
one.
close enough.
It's close enough. Yeah, I mean,
It's
like,
in
well,
the general.
My mom gets highly offended. She grew up in San Francisco, or like
I was gonna
teenage
say,
years in San Francisco. I
If
was
you
like, just
grow
relax,
up in the
Mom.
area, usually, yeah.
I lived in San Francisco.
And Dan
at
too.
one
Dan's
point.
okay with it. Dan
Yeah,
lived his
I'm
whole
right
life
there with Dan.
I don't give a
I'm totally
shit.
okay with it.
But I do like representing Sacramento.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
why
but
I
that
don't want to
isn't-
be lumped in because I actually don't like San Francisco.
No, I like San
Why?
Francisco. It's just dirty now. That's the problem. It's dirty.
And even before,
And
when
it
was
used to be dirty, and then it got cleaner, and now it's dirty again.
even it was partial dirty. Like in my high school years, I went to a lot of concerts there because there is a lot of culture there and a lot of cool history. The architecture is amazing. It's such a city, and it's tighter than Manhattan. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
roads are tighter.
It's smaller
I always
by
got
a lot.
really bad anxiety.
Oh, really?
Where Manhattan,
That's-
like the sidewalks are really wide in Manhattan, and like it feels like you're supposed to be out. In San Francisco, it feels like
crowded.
you always feel like you're in an alley, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, besides like Union Square, but you know what I mean. Like it feels more clogged. Parking sucks. Driving sucks.
Yeah, but you haven't tried to park or
Manhattan, no
in
chance.
Manhattan
Yeah, true,
ever.
true.
Neither me,
Yeah.
neither.
What
Yeah.
about compared to LA?
I just hate LA.
I mean, I do too.
Yeah.
I
just
love
hate-
LA. I would just never live there again.
My best friend just moved down there, Justin. I saw him this weekend, and
From
he's just-
here?
So he's lived everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Dude's a traveler. He's literally my best friend since kindergarten. So he's done like Albuquerque. He went to school there, got his master's. Lived in Boston. His wife travels the world doing work, so they've kind of traveled everywhere. And he's just I wish I was more like him. He's just a happy dude. So like wherever he is,
He'll
he
be
finds
fine.
he finds what he likes there. And so he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I just moved closer to the beach. I ride my bike and I surf there. I'm like, fuck, dude, I would hate that.
If you live in LA area but you're close to the beach, then
He's like, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like you're yeah.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
he-
If you have the money to live in that area, then you're gonna be.
He's
good.
not like beach, but yeah, close enough
Yeah,
for a bike
close enough,
ride.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's-
Even that, I don't think I like. Because I sit in my house. I'm not going to the beach.
Oh my god.
My problem with the beach is just it's often too hot or too cold.
And crowded
Yeah.
in
And
that
crowded,
area. Honestly,
yeah.
it's super crowded.
Yeah, I'll do beach like Mexico Beach or Hawaii Beach. I'm not doing like
yeah, it's different.
our beach or even San Diego's a little cold.
It's cold.
Like, the
It is
water's
very
cold.
Yeah,
My only
People
Mexico
that-
Beach experience is like Baja, and the water is like bathtub.
I'm going there in 2 weeks.
Really?
Cancun.
Yeah. See that
Yay.
kind of stuff I could do.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna move to the beach. We were even talking about it in the car when we were getting coffee. Like, I love Sacramento. I talk about it. I hype it up, and I don't live Sacramento. Like, I don't go to Tahoe. I don't go to our beaches. I don't. You know,
I mean,
that's
that-
like the thing though.
You know,
Mountain biking, hiking,
Yeah.
snowboarding.
Yeah.
We have the best, arguably some of the best in the entire planet.
And we don't do it. No,
I
I
don't
don't
do
either. It's
any
like,
of
I don't. I'm not really. I'm not
I
a big
mean,
fan
a lot
of
of
snow.
people. That's San Diego too. Everybody talks about like San Diego's so great, but then once you move there, you hardly ever to go to the beach. Like I hardly ever.
Yeah.
It's just like it's too crowded. There's people everywhere. Hiking is the same way. It's like there's so many people. So it just depends on the type of person. But
Yeah.
whenever you move there, I feel like it's just like
Yeah.
it's there.
What's this thing in Texas? Barbecue? You eat a lot of barbecue?
No,
I love. That's the one thing I've done
had
a
it,
bunch
like,
of trips.
once.
Really?
only when people come visit me, they're like, let's go get barbecue.
You got to
I'm
go
like,
to
"All right, cool."
Killeen's.
I've been. It's good.
I
It is
actually
really good.
ate there with Brian
Tacos
Shaw.
though, the tacos and
Rip.
yeah, so good.
That's all I did when I went to Texas for like 3 weeks.
Was
And just
eat.
did a little
Eat.
vlog
There's so
tour.
much good
All
food.
I did was eat.
There's so much good food. The first time I went to Houston, visited Houston, I gained 5 pounds. Like
I like that.
it was like a couple weeks before I meet too, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm moving up a week.
Yeah. Yeah. I
My
like
coach
that.
was so mad. He's like, ugh. I was like, yeah, this 5 pounds isn't coming off.
Yeah. There's a lot of brisket in my gut right now.
Literally.
It's so
Oh
good,
my
though.
God! It's like that YouTube ad that you see all the time when the guy talks about average American adult has 8 pounds of toxic poop in there. It's like no,
Yeah,
they
is that
don't.
a
That is
Oh.
not true. It is
I had a
completely
friend in
not
San
true.
Diego that's like a thing to clean. I don't know what it's called. Cleaning out.
an enema?
What is that? What that's called?
Enema, yeah.
Well, you can do that. You
It's
can,
like
cleanse.
a colon, yeah,
Cl-
colon
cleanse.
There- the
cleansing
big
thing,
one-
but
the
it's
big one
like
is
they
coffee.
like hook you up to a hose or something
Yeah.
and like
Enema.
rinse you out.
Yeah,
Yeah, my friend's roommate, that was like she does that.
yeah.
Just-
There's only
And
one
there's,
really
like-
good reason to do that.
for
and
colonoscopy or something.
other than a colonoscopy, other than a medical reason, there's one good reason to do that, and it's sexual. So,
Oh, yeah,
Well-
clean the pipes for the
Yeah.
weekend excitement.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would not for me, but
I was gonna say, really?
maybe. Who knows? Getting in my 30s, might explore. Yeah, a coffee enema is like a big thing right now.
Silent
Wait,
Mike goes
what?
digital.
Coffee?
Yeah. So I've seen it on TikTok
Explain.
again where I got my news, but then I saw our buddy Nadolski tweeting about it and how stupid it is, and I
Yeah.
assumed it was stupid. Like, why would I take my favorite morning beverage and shove it in the wrong hole?
What if it was like Burger King coffee though?
Wait. So what is this?
So I think
they-
you get lukewarm coffee and you
instead of
shoot it-
water.
Yeah, you shoot up your
Instead
bum
of
bum.
water.
Why?
I don't know. The lady on TikTok said she felt so clean and energized,
No.
which I understand too, because I don't
there's
want
The
to.
gotta be
caffeine goes
some
right
type
into
of-
your.
I don't want to get too graphic. My mom was just talking about podcasts she's listened to in the past and how gross they were, and I was like, "Mom, good thing I don't do that, huh?" And then
Here we are talking about
here
coffee.
we are.
Pete.
this is health. It's a fact. What's a bloopy
Bloopy?
or blue pink?
I don't know. Now keep going.
I think people will take narcotics or alcoholic beverages and put them in the wrong hole
Oh.
because absorption is
Oh,
greater,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because our
that-
intestines absorb things, so you take a little bit of whatever down
I
there.
didn't know that there was a name for them.
Well,
Okay. Well,
you learn something every day,
What happens?
and maybe it's not.
it probably. I'm sure it is.
But so I understand the coffee one because maybe you absorb the caffeine quicker
yeah,
or like harsher,
Mm.
not
yeah.
I
healthfully.
mean,
I'm
yeah,
not-
no, yeah, for sure. It sounds. I'm sure it works.
Yeah,
Is it?
Someone's got to do
is
it.
Healthy?
Someone in this
Probably
room
not.
needs to go experiment.
it's. I would say it's similar to dry scooping.
Yeah,
in
the
terms
reverse.
of because it's like
Yeah.
you're getting stuff right into the bloodstream, and you
I
really
feel
shouldn't
like
do
the
that.
dry scooping thing though, it's not more effective. Isn't there like studies
I
like
don't
it's
know.
not? Okay, this is funny.
Yeah,
I
what's
had a
the reason
friend
you used to
5
do it?
years ago?
Even
Just because it's convenient.
Yeah.
If you don't have like a shaker,
Yeah.
shaker or like a water bottle or something, it's just like whatever. I had a friend like 5-6 years ago. He dry scooped and he pooped out like literally he saw in his poop like the
Creatine
ball,
pellets?
the little ball of pre-workout.
oh, it makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
He didn't even digest it.
Because that
Oh.
happens even like probably. I think pre-workouts have gotten better at that dissolve, but I remember
Yeah.
shaker cups and stuff, and yeah, you'd get a big clump. That's why there's a
Yeah.
shaker cup
Right.
because the water gets the outside, and then
Yeah.
it kind of becomes a rock. So yeah, why wouldn't it happen?
Inside,
You're good.
yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're I don't know. I feel like looking back at that, I'm like, your digestion probably isn't that great if you're
Yeah, I
Just-
don't know.
passing those things without.
well, it's not enough fluid in your.
Yeah,
Yeah, to break it
something.
up.
yeah.
I just
know.
don't really
I
take
honestly
supplements.
Yeah.
But I've seen people do protein.
Dry scooping protein.
Bleh.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I
That,
wonder.
that'd be like chalk.
No,
Yeah.
protein's disgusting. I don't do any of that. I eat steak. It's just like so gross.
yeah, I can't imagine dry scooping. I mean, actually, well, or
Why-
creatine. I've dry scooped creatine before. Creatine powder.
Yeah, I told you about my candy creatine.
Yeah,
'Cause
I bought some.
Yeah, because creatine powder's gross.
Yeah.
It
I
like,
feel
tastes
like
like
that's
nothing.
I don't know, because creatine doesn't really dissolve.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine to dry scoop that.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't get any of it. And I understand the trends. What's funny to me is that I see stuff like that and I feel like I do feel old and that these fitness trends are like re-looping.
Yes.
You
like
feel
I'll
old.
see like
100%.
yeah, but like,
You're like that's popular now. That's been popular.
yeah, and
Like,
obviously social media helps. Like maybe it
Regurgitates
happened in
it.
articles in the 90s and 2000s, but since 2009-ish.
All of this
Yeah.
has happened before and will happen again.
It's like all the like fashion trends,
yeah. Which that part I
which
don't
are
mind.
all coming.
That
I mean,
part I don't mind.
that's always happened though.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just like
yeah, but that's that
over
like
time, nothing's new.
that sociology wise like makes sense to me, right? Like I don't know if we were talking to somebody on the podcast about it, but like creators and those that are leading the way in fashion or whatever
Mhm.
replicate their childhood. So I would
Mm.
grow up in the
Oh,
90s.
yeah, totally.
So why do I like tall baggy tees and why do we create tall baggy
Right.
tees that are comfy? Because that's what I wore when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now, not me, but the people that really influence fashion are the same.
Mhm.
And so they do that. The meat,
Makes
the
sense.
the fit, like dry scooping, like that was probably a thing in 2011 for all we know. Somebody put it all
Yeah.
over. I don't get why that replenishes itself. Or I'll see like, TikTok memes or like YouTube videos, people saying things. I'm like, damn, dude, like it doesn't get played out. Like it's played out to me.
Mm.
But maybe that's just because we are old now
We've
and
been. Well, I
lived
mean,
through
we've
it
been in the scene for a while.
a long time.
Well, is our topic of the day
Yeah.
the shaming, the
Oh,
public
yeah.
shaming of whatever?
So that's where
Is that new? Is that
You wanted
old? Is it?
So I remember
think it's new. It's definitely not new.
I remember probably 2014. I did a video with Bart and Just Kidding News, and they cover, viral topics. And there was like a military-ish man did a YouTube video. I don't know if he was real military or not. Now we're talking 7 years ago. But he basically made a mega viral video that went beyond fitness, right? It probably ended up on USA Today's website or some bullshit. And he was basically, shaming people, yelling at them to get fit, stop being lazy, and that you're pure lazy. Even in New Age, right? Like, Rogan says stuff of that nature, saying that like you just lack discipline, like get over it. I've heard stuff like that, and people in our industry, I think, are actually, this is kind of a divided line where some people take like an ultra empathetic route, and then some people say like, if you're not working out every day, you're a pussy. You wake up at 4 o'clock and whatever. Yeah, I do find myself in the middle because this has many layers we can dive into, but for me, I think what maybe comes across my mind or anyone's mind versus what may applicably work, which is, I think, education, which is what we based our whole career on, like 10 years on YouTube and podcasting, trying to help people understand what changes you may be able to make to feel better, look better. I just don't think anyone's ever shamed someone into change in their life, regardless of topic, or regardless of if you think it's morally right or not. I just don't think it's going to work. I had a fucking mullet for 5 years. I got made fun of many a time. Someone pointing at my mullet saying, you look fucking stupid, never once made me want to cut my mullet. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or if it does, it's usually short-term change.
For sure, because it's not for you.
Yeah. I mean, that comes down to, like, psychology. Of, like, psychology, intrinsic motivation and external motivation. So if you have external, someone externally being like, do this, do that, and, like, shaming you, it's not gonna be long term because it's not intrinsic. Like you have to believe it. It has to be for you. I mean, that's why we emphasize, doing things for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that people generate enough of their own shame
internally
without any external output.
Yeah.
I agree.
Again, Kelly's been in the game a long time and you're a coach, and like that stuff comes up, and maybe your first year of coaching, you weren't very good at that, but over time you learn coaching in humans, and it really is a psychology world. It's a holistic approach to actually get someone to change habits or teach them, because if you just go to every client and say you're weak, you're fat, you're skinny, no one's going to change shit. You literally can't. Like, I learned that early in the commercial gym. Like, these people are going to pay me $100 an hour and they'll still not show up. They're paying me $100. Not me, the fucking gym stole all my money, but they schedule it, pay $100 a session, and they still won't show up.
Right.
I can't change this human.
No.
I can't change this human.
I mean, that's what all the time I have that conversation with the women that I coach is like, I can tell you this all day long, but it's like, you have to do it. It has to be you determined to do this. I can't give you that.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever you need to do to create that internally is what you need to do. Like, I can help you, give you some steps, but at the end of the day, it's all you.
Yeah, and it's so deep, right? Like, some of it, the extreme side, may be like a food addiction or a food eating disorder. But even in the middle ground, where I think I kind of float, like, I definitely don't have a great relationship with food. Like, I got fucked up shit and I binge and whatever.
I'd like to break up with food, but I can't.
Yeah, I would love to.
I just don't know how to quit it.
I love to too. Just eat lettuce all day. But like, even that, like, then there's building habits. There's, do you really want to change? Because again, like, I think if you want change, or whether it's socially, I guess that's the bigger argument here, is that it's a social concept to have abs and be sexy, where you can be sexy. The argument is that, well, why aren't humans just sexy or good looking or attractive or whatever? And then the opposite side is like health. But the big thing is with women, right? That's the big thing, at least that I've read during this mini 2-3 months of fat shame, fit shame, is that typically dudes are shaming larger women that model or not, or that carry a little bit more body fat, and they say it's unhealthy. I don't care what you think is sexy. It's not about that. You're unhealthy. But then if you go to the stats and you talk to doctors and you read all this stuff,
how do you define health? Then it comes down to that. How do you define health?
And not only that, but like, ladies can often carry heavier body fats, even beyond the BMI stuff, not way beyond. But then men are the dudes. How many ladies get a heart attack? Not as many as dudes. And so maybe it is healthier for women to be larger or sexy at every size than a dude. how we store fat, we know evidence-based is how you determine that, and often ladies are in their limbs, which tends to be healthier in terms of cardiac stuff, where dudes always carry it in our guts, which shows up statistically isn't as healthy cardiac stuff. So I think like pure evidence style, you know, I hate to be like the you know, raw progressive guy. I like to be, you know, Mike. But the truth is maybe it is these asshole dudes, these chauvinistic ass dudes that are just saying, I don't think you're hot, so I'm going to shame this because I'm, you know what I mean? It tends to be that type of dude being real loud on social media about it.
Or it's just people that look at everything externally. It's like if you look at things at face value, then yeah, a majority of us would be like, that's not healthy. You know, someone being looking overweight. And it's like, you don't know the behind the scenes. And I think the more progressive style of thinking is like, that is like, there's more underneath the surface. Like, you don't know if they run like, there's people that are heavier that run miles. Yeah. And it's like they have great cardiac health and like have not been able to drop body fat for whatever reason. Yeah. It's like, you don't know their life. You don't know how they eat. Like some people, like genetically, it is harder for them to lose weight. Right. They do all these things. They live a healthy lifestyle way more than some people that are leaner. I know some very lean people that eat awfully. Yeah. You know,
drinking beers and cocaine all weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all of them.
Eat trash. Like you don't know what the internal health is of that person.
And the mental health. Like I don't think there's a ton of evidence on it, but let's hypothetically say you're a little bit overweight and you're internally super happy and fulfilled in your life, stress-free. Like stress really is that probably can't find evidence. It fucking kills you. Yes. So this person's hypothetically 5% over in body fat than our BMI or whatever these doctors are telling us, but she's super happy, loves her job, jogs a little bit, lifts a little bit.
She's going to live like way longer than...
She could arguably live longer. And then the other argument is like, what is health and who cares? Is it just longevity? Is it being mobile as long as you want and then croaking, digging your own hole? Like what is, you know, like...
Oh. Do you have enough energy to dig your own grave?
Yeah, who knows? Who cares? Because it really is kind of an internal thing, and I'm not.
It just comes down to definition. I think at the end of the day, a lot of things come down to that, though. You know, like beauty standards.
Yeah,
you know, we talked about. It's just like it comes down to what you're defining.
That is an interesting topic too, because like the body stuff is I haven't seen like evidence, but like in the face, like they always talk about science, straight science, like symmetrical faces are more attractive. So is there like a science based on
attractiveness?
Yeah, like I think.
So how are we defining? Because
I think evolutionary, there's probably some. There's got to be some standard just based on.
So you're just taking a survey of people and be like, what do you think is attractive?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
That's completely subjective,
right?
To whoever you're talking to.
But I do think there's something in evolution that's like this lady or this gentleman can carry my baby and protect it or me. Right, like
all that's got to be programmed. It's got to be programmed in your head. Like
you don't think there's any evolutionary?
No, I think it. No, I mean like it's already there. It's all intrinsically programmed as part of
my mate can't get off of the couch. What if there's a tiger? I'm dead.
But at the same time, I would say that all this shit has a distribution. It has a statistical distribution.
Sure,
you know, people who are attracted to heavier people who are attractive
to furries and feet,
and
latex,
attracted to, or and on the flip side, people who are attractive to a particular segment of society and didn't necessarily know that was going to be the case, but they are, and the question is like whether or not you're cool with that. It's like, do you only see me as attractive because of your fetish?
Right. I guess for me, I just, again, because I don't know where I sit, but I can just find holes in the hypocrisy in anything we see.
Yeah.
And again, this is very generalized, everything we're saying, but typically the type of person that may shame someone on the internet for this type of fat shaming is also the person that says, like, maybe would claim libertarian. So then if this person is fat and unhealthy and not affecting you, what's your intent?
What's your beef?
Yeah. What's your intent of going on the internet to make someone else feel bad? Or are you so angelic you're really trying to change their life?
The conversation though was isn't that like models, like heavier models, it's just not healthy because it's promoting a certain lifestyle
that's
or
a piece
whatever.
of it too.
So it's like that's a conversation to be had, but I don't know. I don't know, because then you look at like the psychology of it growing up. Like, so I was a psych major, and I did this in college. Actually, studied that about how society and like the things that you see growing up affects, you know, what you think is beautiful, what you like, all that stuff. So the whole argument is seeing heavier women, you know, models and things like that. It affects the younger generation and how they see themselves.
Sure.
Like accepting themselves at who they are. Like it's not necessarily promoting, and I think that's the argument. It's not necessarily promoting a certain lifestyle. It's just saying that there are different types of body types.
Yeah. We're similar age, and our generation, and maybe further back, but everything I've read, like 60s, 70s, 80s models, magazines and stuff, were a little bit more normal-ish shaped. And then the 90s, they started to become twigs. The
most successful and popular model in the 60s was Twiggy, and she was literally a twig.
Okay, so she probably changed the game.
Yeah.
So, but my point is that and it's changing now-ish, where we do have more plus-size models or thicker girls, thicker dudes, different skin types, different everything. But our generation grew up with these twigs, these Sports Illustrated girls that weigh 40 pounds.
Yes, right.
But America's never been fatter. So you would think, that logic, that we would be promoting being skinny. But that didn't work. What we're promoting is not being comfortable. I got issues. I think I'm fat every day. I wake up and say, "Hey, you fat piece of shit, let's do better."
It doesn't necessarily what you see.
That's what I'm
saying. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily carry over.
Right.
Into
it probably fucked up. It doesn't create habits.
Just mentally.
No. Right.
That's a mental thing. Yeah, it's like having body image issues. We've never had probably I don't know, but more body image issues than
more self-consciousness. And you can blame social media for sure, because the
100%.
comparison game. You can maybe blame some of the twigginess in magazines in the 90s. But why? And we're stuck with that, right? Like, because then the counter argument is, and I get this too, I don't want to turn on a movie and just see a bunch of really ugly people. I want to see some like good-looking people talk to each other and fuck in the cave in the Matrix. You know, you don't want, right? Well, like I get that as well. Like I understand why Brad Pitt's Brad Pitt, and I'm over here on an audio podcast. I understand why where we sit, me and Mr. Pitt, but where's the line of like promoting, or is it promoting, and then like teaching?
I mean that comes down to your mind, like honestly, because you can't regulate how someone thinks of something. So it's like someone look like me, for instance, or you can look at something and say, oh, I see both sides. Like I understand that. Whereas another person being more maybe closed-minded looks at that and is like, no, that's absolutely promoting something negative that I don't want to see. And it's like, well, maybe you need to change your mindset a little bit. Like, is that really the ad's fault, or is that your mindset and how you think?
Kind of like
things?
The milk, or the chugging the water.
Exactly.
It's not H2O's fault.
Maybe you need to be more mindful.
And then the bigger issue is parents and teachers. But then we can't regulate that either, right?
Nope. Like
we can't take an IQ test and say, hey, Mikey, you can't have kids. You're too stupid. You're gonna be a shit parent.
So if we could though, oh goddamn,
right? Or even like teachers. Like there's fucking amazing. My mom was a teacher 25 years. There's amazing teachers, and then there's teachers that just don't give a fuck.
On the flip side of that, though, one of the things that kind of bugs me is when people that I know are smart and would probably be good parents say, I never want to have kids.
It's like you're the one that needs to have kids.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Could there be some kind of government incentive that helped you decide to have kids?
That might get me going.
Yeah.
Cash from.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway.
Tax breaks.
Anyway, though, I like one of the things about like movie stars, TV stars, stuff like that, is that they have enormous heads by and large, and they look
literal, figurative, both.
But like,
Is
they
really?
tend to have larger heads.
I've never
heard this.
Regardless of whatever size they are, because it looks better on camera.
Tom Cruise looks like he's got a real big dome.
He's got a lunchbox.
Yeah, I got a tiny head.
I want to see the research behind that. I've never heard that.
I believe it.
It's actually a thing.
That's crazy.
Okay, this goes way far back. Michelangelo's David, the sculpture.
Oh, I've heard that because of perspective.
Yeah, huge head.
Yeah, the head's not in perspective
to the rest of the body.
Like Da Vinci's body, like Da Vinci's perfect body, because he made it as a sculpture and from the viewer standpoint. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's supposed to be on top of the Duomo, and it's supposed to be really far up. And
but even still, I think when you're standing, it still looks proportionate-ish because you're below.
Where is that? Carrie, have we seen that? Where isn't that? It's in your. We didn't see that.
It's at the
She was listening.
Academia in Florence.
Oh, we didn't go to Florence.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we went over to
Europe.
Rome and saw those.
Yeah,
there are copies.
No, it makes
of
sense.
around,
And same
so
with
it-
movies, and same with
Yeah.
lighting, and even pictures, right? Like chicks know their angles. It's the same idea.
Yeah, but to flip the other thing around, I just don't think that shame is a good motivation for most people.
No, it never
It's
works. That's what
I
I
mean,
wonder.
it can work, I think,
Yeah.
but I don't think it can work on somebody. I think it work.
Sure.
I can work for them, but not on them. Like oh, I feel bad, and getting off the schneid about making a change can feel so good that it flips that shame thing around real quickly into like a pride of accomplishment, and that helps some people get going. You know?
I do. Yeah, I guess that's the bigger. Like, what's the intent? And most of the fat, quote unquote, fat shaming happens from like a content creator, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
it happens. There's micro ones that happen in person. Like, and we've probably even dealt with it. Like, I'm a big dude and I'll order like a steak and salad. And whoever I'm having dinner with said like, oh, a salad, huh? Or like, oh, protein, huh? I'm like, yeah, bro, I get it. I lift weights. I understand. You know,
Yeah.
like, this isn't funny no more. Like, you go eat what you want to eat. I'm not going to comment on your 5 beers. Like, it just is what it is. So those are like micro ones.
Yeah.
Right.
But, and I'm fairly confident human, so that doesn't bug me, but I can understand how that could mess with somebody a little bit, or the other way. I'm a big dude. I grab
Yeah,
3
I mean-
burgers and someone fucking comments on my 3 burgers, huh?
Yeah.
Hungry boy? Like, yeah, bitch, I'm hungry.
My clients deal with that. A lot of clients deal with that with like when they start eating healthier and stuff.
Yeah.
People comment on.
Because they hang out with quote
Yeah.
unquote normies. They're not hanging
Yeah.
out with meatheads. Like anything of the 3 of us eat, we're just gonna comment like, oh, that looks good, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because we're meatheads and we kind of vibe, but
You suddenly get classified by normies
Yeah.
as the person who always eats this, or always eats healthier or
Yes.
whatever.
Yep.
And
don't worry,
and-
Kelly's coming over. I'll cook chicken
Yeah,
tonight. It's like,
my parents do that.
yeah.
Do you need more protein?
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not.
Yeah, there's a line of like caring. Like your parents
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
are
yeah.
trying to be nice and
They- yeah.
adapting rather
For
than.
sure.
But if you're,
Yeah, just let me manage that.
yeah, but if
Just
you're
let me be.
if you're iffy on it or you're new to the habits or new to
Yeah.
trying to get in a certain amount of grams of protein, it may feel a little self conscious to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But progress pictures wouldn't be a thing on the internet if they didn't feel good for people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
or get a good social response.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing better
That's
than a
what I
little
mean.
1-year transformation on there.
Yeah,
click, like.
yeah, for sure, for
True.
sure. We wouldn't see nearly as much, minimal clothing photography on any social media if
Sure.
there wasn't a positive reinforcement to it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Society.
Yeah. Sex
It's
does
just-
sell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there's a weird component to it too, where liking it means a little bit of I wish that I could do what you're doing.
Yeah,
For some people, I wish I could accomplish what you're. I wish I didn't
Oh,
have the
yeah.
musculature that you have, or
yeah.
that I was as lean as you are, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is a weird flip side, and I don't know whether that's positive or negative. I don't know if that's to what extent it's inspirational and what
Yeah,
extent.
like demeaning or
demotivational within
Yeah.
yourself, not the intent of the person who publishes it, because clearly the intent of the person who publishes it is to feel better about what
Sure.
they've accomplished, to feel
Ye-
good about
for the
what
majority
they get
of it.
reinforcement about what.
yeah, 90%. I'm sure there's a 10% that's trying to teach or show or
Yeah, or encourage other people.
because like
to-
I've done them too, but it's like, hey, this is 9 months and I lost
Yeah.
3 pounds.
If if that is the whole thread of your social media
for
persona,
sure.
then yeah.
For sure.
If the whole thread of your social media persona is abs,
Yeah.
I guess
then-
context.
yeah.
yeah.
You know.
I do wonder if the whole fit shame deal would just be non-existent, at least not a real topic of conversation if there was no social media.
It
Right,
would
'cause
still
again,
exist. It would
do you
still
think-
exist, but it would not be
just
about
wouldn't be as-
individuals. It would be about
But like, where does it
images
have...
in media and advertising.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, true. I
I
guess
guess it's always been. I mean, even 10 years? 10 years ago, when I was in college and like studying this stuff, it was still around.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like in the media.
yeah, because they do talk about
The skinny
ladies
model
in
of the,
Hollywood trying to make it but not making
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Or even
Yep.
like the big ones, I guess. This topic is highly relevant. Well, who was the recent one? There was not McCarthy. There's like 2 comedians that are a little bit larger and one lost a ton of weight. Is she from Pitch Perfect?
Comedians.
Blonde, kind of
oh shit, what is her name?
And then the other one's McCarthy. She was in Identity or something with
I can't think of her name.
do you know what I'm talking about?
I think
One's
I do.
Australian. She's in Pitch Perfect. I love Pitch Perfect. What is it?
Yeah.
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, I was thinking.
She's
I
the
was
one
like,
that
I
lost a
know.
good amount of weight, right?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
Adele.
Adele's
Adele.
another one that got like
It's
hated
like, oh my
on.
God,
Yeah.
Adele is too skinny now. It's
Somebody
like,
else.
Yeah,
There was another like actress or something that did it.
yeah. And so like and
Jonah Hill, didn't Jonah Hill like lose hella weight too?
he
yeah,
did.
Yeah,
I don't know if he kept it off.
he looks okay.
He
looks
started.
okay. I'm
He
a
started
big Jonah Hill
rolling, and
fan.
that was his thing.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he surfs a little bit. Like,
I think the big Adele was a huge thing.
and people were mad she's skinny.
yeah, angry.
Because then like that's such like a reverse of a reverse psychology. They're mad that she wasn't happy she was thick,
Right.
right?
Right.
That like makes no like
Singers.
stop caring so much about someone else's life
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, it's really kind of a bottom
That's
line.
so fucking digging in there.
Yeah, it's like, oh look,
Like,
she's so
look at
talented.
yourself. Yeah. It's like if you have an issue, I think it goes back again to psychology of like if you're pushing that off on someone else and
Yeah.
like so angry, well, you need to look internally and be like, what is there an issue there? Like,
Right.
why don't you focus on?
And we have no clue if she's happier or not.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if she's happier, like fuck yeah, Adele, do your thing. Hello, Mike. But if you're not happy, then yeah, maybe go eat another burger, Adele. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm watching In Treatment on HBO right now,
Yeah.
and the therapist is played by Uzo Aduba, who was Tasty on Orange Is the New Black. She's a big girl. They dress her really, really well. Her character has issues. She's an alcoholic. I think that they're kind of playing both sides of it.
Of this topic?
Of this topic. It's like she's like she looks good and she's competent, but at the same time she's got personal struggles.
Yeah.
But there's not been a word about her weight. 3 weeks into the show, there's been not a word about her weight at all because they dress her amazingly. She looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Looks great. Yeah.
she looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. I guess you're right. Without social media, there's so much because even now they're talking about how like being jacked is good again because there's like a dad bod era. There was like
Yeah.
a dad bod
Yeah.
era for like
2
5
years
years,
ago.
and then now Thor is trend out of his fucking brains.
Yeah.
his arms look IFBB style.
Yeah.
And then now it's cool to be jacked again.
And he's
like,
got his waist is super tiny.
yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation, right? Like, I think it is very stereotypical but common to bring these topics up around young women, right? Because that's typically who's so sexualized and whatever in media. But dudes, if you're a normal dude and you're looking at Thor and like that's the only way I'm going to get a wifey to have arms like that, I've trained for 15 years,
Yeah.
and I have a quarter of the arm Thor does, and then they're not talking about supplements they may or may not be using, and I don't know how you approach that either. Again, me being unopinionated, like Thor can't come out in Men's Health say, yeah, I use tons of Tren to get my
Right.
job for Thor. Like, I don't expect that either.
Who was the comedian? Wasn't there? There's a comedian that is like jacked now, and his jawline, you could see like
Oh,
there's
no.
a huge difference, and you're like,
what's
his name?
Kamal Nanjiani.
Yeah.
He's in.
It's
He's
a
in.
superhero.
He's in Eternals. Yeah,
He's a superhero,
Eternals,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Eternals.
Yeah, no.
Comedian, isn't he?
Huh?
Isn't he a comedian?
He was in like
he's
comedy
a,
shows.
He's
for
a
sure.
Okay.
yeah. He's a comedian. He's done stand up and
Yeah.
I remember seeing that, like the
Yeah.
comparison pictures. You're like, whoa.
No, and like for us that are in industry, it's clear
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't just like 6 weeks of chicken.
You're right.
And I don't know what he looks like now, but my understanding, because I listened to some podcast that he was on, that he's super germophobic during the pandemic. All he did was work out at
Work out.
home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but-
every day,
You
all
take
the
some
time.
PEDs and do some push-ups, some
Yeah.
crazy things. Like he was kind of a
Push-ups.
slimmer guy.
Yeah, he was never
It
fat.
happened.
So
You know he was lifting heavy.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
A
think-
good dose and some push-ups.
I not push-ups.
I think so.
I don't think.
I
so.
mean, there's studies that show you gain muscle just
Well,
on doses. No
it-
push-ups.
It depends on how much of a responder you are and what your musculature looks like and
He
all
looks
this
like
stuff.
a responder to me.
Which comes back to a sort of a point that you were hitting on before, is that people don't have a good idea of what their actual potential is. They either think it's tremendously more or tremendously less.
And you
Oh,
still
yeah.
can't really know, right? Like I've
Yeah.
lifted 12 years and
Usually the guys are the ones that
yeah, it's
appear, and the women are like,
yeah, but you don't know until you really do it forever and dial in what you like. There's
or have someone to push you.
True. But even that, like, I'm pretty serious lifter for over 12 years, and there's definitely not been 6 months where I did everything perfectly, right? So, like, hypothetically, if I did 12 years perfectly diet, perfect training,
Yeah.
who knows where I could be or could not,
Yeah.
right? Like, you just have no idea.
and some of it is really angles and
Oh, for sure.
and like
Most of it.
we months ago now we did the show on Fake Famous.
Yeah.
Where people were taking a bunch of pictures at one
seen
time
that
'cause
documentary?
they looked
Yeah, I actually
fantastic.
watched it because I heard y'all talking about it.
You're the one. You're the one.
I was like, let me.
It's pretty
watch
good.
this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was really good.
Yeah. They take a bunch of pictures and then they sort of release them, and they may not look like that every day anymore. And,
Yeah.
and
I
probably
know people
don't.
that do that stuff.
No, for sure. And
Like-
and they're posting stuff from years ago,
Mhm.
and like I brought this up, and I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. We're gonna give Mike some love. I didn't even think about it, so I went and played basketball with Dan the other day,
Yeah.
and I'm shooting around, and I literally put my camera up and I film it,
Mm.
and then I post it saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
I played basketball."
You missed all the shots, didn't you?
I missed all the shots. I didn't even think about it.
I noticed that. Yeah.
When did you? Well, you know who?
What were you're like, should I get back into it or something?
Yeah.
And then you missed I was like,
I didn't even think about it because, like, I don't know. I definitely have self-esteem issues, like with my body and being in the industry and
Yeah.
stuff. But like as a human, and definitely as a basketball player, I was good at basketball. I just don't care because I know
Yeah.
if any little punk ass comes out, I'm gonna beat him. So I just in social media, I don't take 100 pictures. I fucking take one and I post it to tell the story I'm trying to tell. And I didn't even think about missing a shot until Omar DMs me, and he's like kind of serious. I love that guy. He always makes me feel good. He's like, "This is how I know you're a real one. You missed every shot." I was like, "Fuck, bro! I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I just posted my where like there's other YouTubers or fitness folk that are all of a sudden are athletes and they're taking 1 billion shots to make one highlight to post it
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
While fucking around in a park.
I remember shooting some video of someone who was supposed to be good at the speed bag, trying to use a speed bag.
Yeah,
and
just
it
couldn't.
did
Bag.
not go well.
Yeah, I mean-
I never posted it. So it's like,
But yeah, that's
I figured
just-
it was be too much of an eco challenge.
That's all of it. And I understand wanting to put your best foot forward. No one wants to look ugly on the internet. I get it because it is there forever. But I've looked ugly on the internet for 10 years and made a career out of it somehow. It's possible.
Yeah, going back to something I was saying about angles earlier, like somebody can look like they have abs in one picture, especially guys. You turn sideways,
Good
and
lighting.
Yeah,
oh, 100%.
yeah,
That's me.
yeah.
You got the lighting
There's
right.
Wow, yeah.
lifters have a thickness through here.
This
that
actually
you
looks
I
like
can't really-
do.
Kelly's living room. All these lights.
Wish.
I cannot wait to get better lighting in here. But this is better lighting than most people have. But
Pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not bad.
it's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where all these things fit in. I don't know my opinion or answer on it. My opinion is you can't shame someone into success.
No,
You
I
can
think that
maybe
that's
shame
true.
yourself into success, but arguably that's maybe
Gee,
not the healthiest way to be motivated.
But there's got to be another element to it. Though you have to have another element on the inside
For
that,
sure.
that helps you
A driver.
figure
Yeah.
out how to convert shame into accomplishment. I
My-
don't think that anybody else can shame you into accomplishment.
For sure not. My bigger issue is context, and then I always think about the person. Are they projecting, or what's the intent of the creator?
Yeah.
Are you trying to help? Why wouldn't you go an educational route? Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
start a
Intent
conversational route?
matters.
Yeah, why wouldn't you go
It
with
does.
conversation? Hey, Jim, how do you feel about exercise and food? Hey, how do you feel about, like start a conversation if you truly care.
Yeah.
Or yeah, again, just put out education if you think that really helps. Hey, tell your story. This tough guy who's fat shamed on the internet. Hey, I like to wake up and what makes me feel good is 100 burpees. Okay, that's a cool story. Or like it's at least something semi-productive that someone might pick up a habit. But yeah, otherwise, what the fuck are you doing?
What's
Yeah.
the
Is it
purpose
just for
behind you?
views?
Yeah. What's
Is-
the purpose? Is there what are you trying to accomplish? It's like people trolls on the internet that leave certain comments. Like literally, what was the purpose behind this?
Trolls
just,
are a whole nother.
just to
fucking-
make it
Into another
a conversation.
We do a mini series on trolls.
I just don't get. Yeah, I don't get it either. I never really.
Someone was talking the other day about what's the best response. Like, do you leave them on red? Do you like? Someone was tweeting it.
I just.
on Twitter.
I just don't touch it.
Or like it. Somebody said that they just like the comment
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
I'll do
leave
that.
it.
Because I.
I like to troll them back, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
That's
I,
always been
That's me
my.
I think I would go too hard. Like I can't
I
like
do,
I
and I
can't
love
like
it.
play. I can't play, and then everyone would think I'm a dick
Well,
that I am.
But I am. So.
Yeah, so I just let it.
I used to have a lot of energy for YouTube comments that I don't really have anymore. But I really punched down a lot.
The one time
back
I
in the
just
day.
punched down was TikTok.
Oh,
And-
I can't. People talk. I'm like,
It's
TikTok
so
is
bad.
brutal.
I'm just doing like educational shit. Hey, this is why
Yeah.
we pause squat. Hey, this is
Yeah.
maybe how you should look at
I've heard
deadlift.
some stories.
All these kids went in. Well, Eddie Hall doesn't deadlift like that. They're just fucking going.
I
I'm
think
like,
I'd be bad on TikTok because of that. Because I love that. Because I'll just be like,
No, I went nuts
so
on TikTok.
fun.
I was like, none of these kids fucking follow me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking rip them.
Yeah.
Rip them all. But it's wild.
it's people always comment. They're like, "Do you get trolls all the time?" And I'm like, honestly, no.
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
honestly don't get on like Instagram and stuff. Like, I don't get Usually don't get very many weird DMs and don't get trolls because I think it depends on how you carry yourself. But like people comment on my stuff and I'll just be like,
well, and it's probably just so
Let me go.
dumb. Like you're pulling 400 plus, and it's some kid saying you're weak, fake plates. Like that
or
never
like pull
bothered
this
me.
conventional.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
usually what it says.
Yeah, but that's just some kid. That stuff's clear to
I
me.
just respond and say that I pull over for
Yeah.
conventional.
Well, that's
too.
some kid that can't pull 4, and he's amazed and wild. You're like,
Yeah.
I get that. Like that doesn't bug me. I guess trolling doesn't really bug me. There's not much you could do. Like if you started going after my mom or you did some weird shit. Like I've had some
Yeah.
weird death threaty things. Those things
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
cool.
that's-
But a regular troll, like, what are you gonna fucking do?
Do you
little
block
dork?
them?
Trolls?
Yeah.
Nah, let them rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of
Same.
like it. Yeah, you let them rock.
You're
And
still a
talk
fan
about
either way, right?
talk about sociology or psychology. I think there's something to that too. If you make it look so clean, then like it makes trolls want to go. Where if you just kind of keep some, it makes it look just like normal. Like, all right, that's fine. That kid's over here. Little Timmy's in his corner. That's like kicking every bully out of school. You can't just kick them out of school. You just hope they learn and see how positive everybody else is,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll become positive. Twitch is the best because the randoms will come and chat, and it's live talking to a troll.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
live
Ooh, that's
motherfuckers-
fun. I
Oh,
should
it's a
get on.
lot of fun. Like, hey, little Timmy, what's wrong, buddy? You need a hug. Like, what's so wrong? And they're in there. Hey, big nose. Hey, you little shithead. Like, let's figure this out.
Who hurt you?
Yeah. I don't mind. And I know
Honestly.
he's probably 13. Oh, hey, dude, this is
That's
cool.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite of those kind of interactions is when you go back at somebody, but you do it gently enough,
Yeah.
but pointedly.
Yeah.
And then they collapse a little bit and they go like, yeah,
That's-
you know what? I apologize. I was like in a bad mood in the moment.
Yeah.
I just lashed out when I probably shouldn't
the
have.
older I
and-
get, the more I start doing that now. I'm like, hey, like, by the way, there's no purpose behind this comment. You sound stupid. You look really dumb. And like, just stop.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And they usually reply with, oh, like I didn't mean it that way. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it came off that way, and that's exactly what you said.
Like
So-
I troll some of the buddies, I'll say something on Bart's thing, but you gotta
Yeah.
like throw an emote or like you make it so clear you're fucking around because trolling is like a part of the internet fun.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 years ago it was more so. Like now people are very sensitive.
Yeah.
So they'll see that and they're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you have a hater, and I'm like, no, we're friends.
Yeah.
I used to troll my friends all the time.
There
like
is
5
fun
years
to
ago.
it, and I don't know if people are having a bad day, like half
Yeah.
of them, or half of them are just so bored. Maybe it's the people.
Yeah.
It's the people that don't have the internal dialogue.
Oh, maybe they just spit it right out.
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
don't have,
yeah,
they,
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
They
have
don't
any place
think
to
about
put
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't think about
Hey,
it
Kelly,
first.
you're weak
Yeah.
because he's not talking about himself about how to get stronger. Where my brain's just running about
I
how
know
to get
people
stronger.
that will literally DM the trolls and be like, "Hey, what was the purpose behind this? Like, are
Yeah.
you okay? Like, hey,
Yeah.
did you know that this affects me?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just didn't think about that." I'm like, "How do you not think about that?"
I do want to know what those people do in real life. Like, are they just bitches,
I don't know. I don't know.
or are they fine in real life, and this is
Yeah.
where they lash out?
Maybe.
'Cause I'll take it. Come,
It's where
I'll be
they
your
get
little
their
punching
attention.
bag. Yeah,
I've
I'll
res-
give him attention. Come here, little
Maybe.
buddy. I'll hug you.
I've responded to people and then like ended up DMing them and saying like, "Hey, I just need you to
Talking.
understand like where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna write a whole post out
Yeah.
in public, but let me just tell you where I'm coming from." And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally didn't understand that." and
Especially-
this is my like, I was a big fan, whatever, particularly
Yeah.
about things we used to do. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay. I get it.
Twitter's the worst too. Like, I'll post a tweet on my Instagram about whatever educational or jokingly educational, and then people go nuts. I'm like, bitch. It's 180 characters.
Yeah.
I'm not writing my
Yeah.
thesis. Yeah, you
People,
can find
they-
holes in my tweet.
Yes,
Yes, you can.
yes. I'm like,
Congratulations,
congrats.
Sherlock. Like,
Or people will be like, "Did you? But what about?" And I'm like,
yeah.
I can't put a disclaimer for
Yeah.
every
No.
single thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
why I do like podcasts or live on Twitch because the little motherfuckers say something
just
and then I
ignore
can
people.
explain it. But I can't explain it on a tweet. Like you said, you
yeah,
can't
I
come over every single
cover
scenario.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dumb little.
They're like, "But what about?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Of course, there's an exception to
Yeah.
the rule."
yeah, if you have a ripped ACL, we shouldn't
Right,
squat to death.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm
yeah,
like-
Timmy. You're
It's
right.
called logic.
Yeah, you're right.
It's super frustrating when you also go out of your way to never say everybody or nobody or and make it like
And they
super
still do that.
and they yeah.
Yeah, I say.
And you're
Yeah,
like, that was the point in that word.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm very particular how I speak.
Yes. you
This
have to
shall
be.
work for
nowadays.
most.
Yeah, most.
Yeah,
Keyword
yeah.
most.
This will often work for some.
And you would think that would inoculate you against the people saying, "But what about my scenario?"
Well,
and
a
it's like,
lot logic nowadays is just not very
That's true.
mainstream. To
That's
be
true.
honest, that's
blame the
Twitter.
education
Just
system.
Twitter irks me because I'll be on there scrolling. I'm like, none of this, like logic, not even once.
Yeah.
It's like, this doesn't make any, like the stuff you are saying doesn't make sense. Like if you
Yeah.
sit back and look at it, you're like,
I do think they just like to lash. Like that's just where people be free. But that's what makes
which
me
is
worry about
even worse because
No,
you're
for
like
sure.
that. You're literally just tweeting these things and like this is going through your head and like,
you maybe haven't played
really,
video
you're
games
thinking this?
like we have, but video games and you. So there's
Oh,
something called
yeah.
death comms. Like if I killed Jim, there's like 3 seconds I can hear what you're saying.
Things you don't
Like
want.
Not
what?
safe. Not
What do
safe.
they-
I can't even
Oh,
say it.
okay.
We'll get
Yeah,
deleted.
yeah,
Our
you're
whole
right.
world like so bad. And
Yeah.
so it does make you, and they're adults sometimes. They're not the little
Yeah.
squeakers. Like,
Yeah.
and so you do wonder. We move toward. You've seen Ready Player One.
Yeah.
We move towards that world. We're creeping there, whether you guys want to go or not. We're
Yeah.
creeping towards Ready Player One. And when people have a facade, so imagine social media, right? Which is weird because people say, "Oh, they can have an anonymous profile," but it's just as bad on Facebook. And then you have your mother connected to your Facebook and all that stuff, and people are still just as rotten. You wonder when there's a facade in a Ready Player One world, how many assholes show their true colors.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
I feel like the real trick is to just have an anonymous profile on Twitter so you can say whatever you want,
Yeah, I
whatever you
know.
want.
That
Or
was me in
YouTube.
college. I had a really popular, like the most popular one in my school
Just talking shit.
back Anon days. That was a big thing. You remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Back in
Yeah.
2012, 2013.
The first time
it
they
was
came
like
out.
Anon. Yeah. It was like a big thing on Twitter. That was basically a lot of people were Anons, anonymous.
Oh, okay.
You're in anonymous accounts.
Yeah,
I
that's
ran
fun
one in
blocked.
college. I was like, I'd be sitting in class, like tweeting about people.
In class?
Yeah.
About the people in your class.
Oh, for sure. And then everyone would be like, what is going on?
There's only 40 of us
great.
in here.
I remember when I was at a football game once and I tweeted something and they would put tweets up on the screen and it was like my anonymous account and they put it up there and I was like, oh my God, that's, you know, like I didn't think about it. I was like,
Aw.
I was like sitting there. I was like, okay, well.
Cover blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New
I
account.
revealed myself on graduation day.
Do you get a standing
I
applause?
put it on my cap.
No way.
Oh, wow.
How many do you have now?
What,
Online?
followers?
No, fake accounts.
Oh, none.
Don't
I
let
wish.
us.
I just took the mask off.
That sounds fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
it
it
was a
sounds
lot of
fun.
fun because you could just be walking around and you could like hear things and then tweet about it
Yeah.
and like it was great because then people it's like a what was it what's that show XOXO I'm thinking Gossip Girl.
Never seen it.
It's a show. Yeah, it's a show, but basically this person was like goes around like talking about people and like they don't know who it is and it's someone inside the circle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like,
So
so
they know
that
all
was
the
kind of
tea.
me. Yeah. You know all the tea and you're like sharing it. And people are
I would like to do that and like
kinda
make
fun.
a meme account or troll account, but try to keep
Yeah.
it light, but still go after some folks. It'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, like
It's fun.
make like a Yoda account or something, you know, and you're Yoda roasting people or some
Yes.
shit, you know.
You just have to be careful
fun.
to not leave any clues because nowadays people are really smart and will.
Yeah,
You
find your
Get
can't
ass.
it back
follow
to you,
anybody that you follow
Right.
in
You
real
have
life.
to be
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, you got to start a whole new
strategic.
world.
Yeah. There's plenty of people that still do that on Twitter. That
Oh,
I've
we
seen.
know.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
we
say.
know some.
Oh, you know some?
Oh, I know some.
Actually,
you?
yeah, I know. People are like, "Oh, I run," or I would bump into people and be like, "Oh, I run so and so meme account,"
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, "What? Really?"
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
supposedly this local guy. He's got like 1 million followers, but supposedly he was a meme account up to like 900K, and then just switched it to his personal. Now it's just him.
Really?
Yeah. Well, name drop off.
Off
yeah.
the air.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So he just
whatever.
grew it with a meme,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "You know what? This is gonna be my personal one
Yeah.
now."
Let me get some free fucking.
Oh wow,
Whatever.
that's
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
So, we have any final words on the shaming scenario? I think definitely the thing where shame doesn't really motivate people unless they have some other factor.
Yeah. It doesn't like offend me necessarily.
I don't know if that even matters to the people that do it though. You
Yeah.
know, like when they're shaming people, do they even care if it motivates them or not?
It's
you know?
all self-aggrandizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like making maybe them feel better. I know
Yeah.
some people that like talk about it and are like, well, we just don't want to make it like a mainstream idea that it's okay to be that way.
Yeah, that's
And,
what I
like,
guess.
I don't know
too.
if that's like shaming. Like, and that I think there's both ends of the spectrum of like you also need to look at someone who's saying like it's not okay to be unhealthy. And you're like, you know what? That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a difference between shaming and also pointing out like we need to make it like more acceptable to be healthy and like promote that more. Like be careful about what we promote, which is true.
I guess my advocate then is if I'm being shamed, but I truly believe I'm healthy and sexy and I like how I am, then I wouldn't be offended and this wouldn't be a conversation. Does that make sense too?
Yeah. Where you just go,
Right.
just water off
like
your
I
duck's
talk
back.
about, like, people talk
you
about
really
my
care?
nose every fucking day. I know I have a big nose, bitch. Like, I don't care. Like, or
Like me
whatever.
and my forehead. I'm like, I have a big ass forehead. I know.
Yeah. Like, I've had this for 32 years. You think I just realized? I just
Right.
woke up and my schnoz grew? So I guess that's my other. So then, like, what's the counter argument? Because then you're right. You don't want to normalize being unhealthy either. But then, just because you're slightly larger than what's on Sports Illustrated doesn't mean you're unhealthy.
But don't you think you can accomplish the same thing with positive messages instead of negative
That's
ones?
what I mean.
But
Like, education,
I
I think,
also
is
it comes down to what do you define as like fat shaming,
right.
And then you have to go into that as like, is you saying something's unhealthy, like, is that really shaming? That's not shaming.
No, not at all.
That's stating facts.
I guess the main
so
stuff
people who are
is-
like, oh my gosh, you're fat shaming. It's like some things are not fat shaming
Right.
that you're claiming are.
Yeah, like this may lead to diabetes.
Right.
Diabetes is
Which
not
is
good.
fact.
Yeah. I guess the main one is, like having more normal or larger people in magazines, photo shoots, Instagrams, whatever, or wanting to dress a certain way in certain places and someone having an issue with that.
Right.
That's the fat
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah. If you have an issue with like,
But again, and maybe it is stereotypical, like that type of person that goes verbally has an issue with that often claims like quote unquote libertarian. Like, bitch, they ain't bugging you. Unfollow it. Don't look at it. They're not hurting you. They're not hurting nobody else. If you truly care about humans and you want to educate on health, educate on health. But if you're,
comparing people to farm animals,
kind of, then what are you doing?
Yep.
Plug away. Where can people find you?
We're gonna end with that. I don't know. Do I want to plug everything?
You don't have
I'm
to.
kidding. On Instagram, it's Kelly.Lenahan, Lenahan. People can't spell my last name. And on Twitter, it's Ke Lenahan. Lend a hand without the D's is an easy way.
That just made it worse. No, that made it worse.
No, it's not. It's
I think
easy. When you
Lenahan's
think about it,
understandable.
that's how you pronounce it. Because a lot of people, when they read my last name,
What do they say?
I don't know. There's Lehan, Lena, like different.
Yeah.
It's like that's how you pronounce it, and
Coaching?
it's also how you
Coaching you full.
I actually no, I do have some spots open.
So Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
All right.
I have a website. I think what is my kmstrengthandfitness.com.
Instagram.
But yeah, Instagram. Instagram, yeah. All
Um,
my stuff is on Instagram.
welcome to Sacramento. I think we're going to try to lift some
Thanks.
weights, maybe. I'm going to pretend lift weights.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. 3sb.co as always. Clothing, gym, World's Strongest Man's on the way. So if you are coming to town, come stop by, smash some weights. I'm Silent Mike. Anywhere you want to find me.
I am at the Jim McDonald on all the social medias. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word, and 50 is just numbers. And we'll talk to you next week on some topic that hopefully doesn't include shame.